Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 214 of the Sixth Axis podcast. As per usual, I am your host, Chris Lipscomb. Joining me this week is Lewis Gaston for his last ever time. Say hello, Lewis.
Oh, is that when I'm supposed to say hello?
No.
Sorry, hello.
You. Get out.
Hello.
Kidding, of course.
Also with us this week is Kev Adset. Say hello, Kev.
Hey, how are you doing today?
And finally, filling in for people who could not make it because they don't understand how dates work, and then one who had an actual reason. It's Tuffcub. Say hello, Tuffcub.
Hello.
Don was meant to be here, but...
Can we just point out that the actual reason was that they caused 4 crashes on their way home?
Well, Don was going to be here, but then he didn't cause 4 crashes. There were just several crashes on his way home.
I mean, that does seem suspect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you're party to 4 crashes in one journey, all of those other people were just party to 1.
Yeah.
It just feels like the numbers are pointing in a certain direction. That's all
and also, Teflon was meant to be here, and I asked him a week ago if he wanted to do it, and he was like, yeah, sure. And then I asked him yesterday, and he was like, no, I booked something else. So, I don't know.
Basically, what you've just explained is I am third choice.
No, you're not third choice, because you were on like 2 weeks ago.
Actually, no, you're not third choice, because our third and fourth choice couldn't make it, so...
Oh, great. Thanks.
No, you were here several weeks ago. I like to rotate through people.
Like Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah, to give everyone a fair choice. Anyway, it's Lewis's last ever time. Why are you leaving, Lewis?
Oh,
Describe your reasoning.
It's not my last ever time. I did say I'd be around during
No,
holidays.
No, it's just you won't be welcome then, so...
Yeah. He's not
You're not
welcome.
coming back.
I mean, to be
I'll
fair,
start my own podcast.
he's not welcome now, so it won't make much difference.
Bye then.
You can just go if you want.
Hey, I object to this form of departure.
What, him just leaving?
Yeah. I think it might be too late, though.
No, he hasn't gone. It's Lewis. He never goes. He just
I wouldn't put it past him to hold his complete talking for a good hour and a half and then just say bye at the end.
I would not put that past him, but I also feel he'll get bored at some point and just chime in because he'll forget that he was not talking.
Yeah, you've really got to commit to that joke.
You know what he's like? He got distracted mere minutes ago when we were trying to start this recording. Yeah. In a minute between me saying, are you ready? And then talking about something else and then saying, okay, we're going to record. Something else had happened.
Now that we've highlighted how he's likely to be distracted, that I think will strengthen his resolve even further, to be honest.
I know.
Well, I have an idea.
What?
We could talk about his highlights from the podcast to entice him back, like not knowing where map buttons are, for example.
Yeah. That's a solid point.
Yeah, his incorrect opinions about Shadow of Mordor.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. How completely wrong he is on that.
His love for Shenmue, and then sort of disappointment when Shenmue 3 was announced because he couldn't rerun with that joke anymore.
His inability to say weapons.
I really can't say weapons. That time he had a gun under his
Gone
seat.
too far, you bunch of cunts!
You remember that time he had
hey mate! Sorry, I didn't realise you were still here.
You remember that time he had a gun in his car? Remember that? That was a weird story.
No, I did.
Talking of pronouncing things wrong, I just remembered something. Chris?
Yes.
As much as I love you talking about cock, C-O-C-H is pronounced coke. It's coke media, not cock media.
That's funny because it's not spelt C-O-C-H. It's spelled K-O-C-H.
K-O-C-H, sorry. Yes.
That's why it's funny.
Media? Because
it is
because the only reason is because in American politics there are the Koch brothers who are spelt the exact same way.
But in Europe it's coke. Definitely because
I'd have had it pegged as Koch.
No, it's coke.
Or maybe they are the Koch brothers instead. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've heard Koch and Coke. So.
I would pronounce K-O-C-H as cock.
That sounds like a weekend for me.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, I hope you mean.
Obviously.
No. I've met Tough.
Diet Coke, I hope.
Oh, shut up.
Real Coke can rot your teeth.
Yeah, but Diet Coke's full of stuff you don't know what it is.
So's your face.
Well, that is obvious. I mean, no one can make this thing out. What is all that going on? I'm doing a gesture. I think you can probably imagine the gesture.
So why are you never coming back, Lewis?
I mean, we don't need to do his exit interview on air, do we?
No.
Yeah, because I'm not invited apparently.
Of course you're invited. I invite
That's
you.
why I'm never coming back.
I invite you on a weekly basis. Sometimes
He's leaving
you're
by
here.
popular demand.
I'm leaving because the court says I has to go away for a while.
You got to change your name.
Her Majesty has requested your pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be gone for 2 to 4 years, depending on behaviour.
So 4 years, though.
Probably extended.
Yeah, exactly.
Can they do that?
We'll see you in 8 years.
I guess they probably can, can't they? I don't know.
They'd just be like, I imagine the prison warden being like, probably just don't let him out. Leave
Whoa,
him
who
here.
said anything about prison? Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't say prison. Jeez. I meant Broadmoor.
I thought you were going to say Broadway.
I'm leaving for Broadway.
I'm doing
I've waited too long. I need my dream to come true. I'm going to Broadway.
It's in a one-man play.
And all that jazz. One of them.
Yeah, you got it.
Great.
I was actually doing jazz hands then as well.
That's all that is. The entire thing. You go
Oh
there.
yeah, then Broadway is just all that jazz.
No, just that's your play. I imagine £30 a ticket. People come in,
Yep.
sit down,
£30.
They
That's
murmur.
the cheap seats.
murmur for a bit, and it dies down. The lights come up. You walk on, and all that jazz, and then just leave.
Walk on. No, let's go back. Walk on to rapturous applause.
Yes, of course. And then do your famous
American
piece.
like, sort of a canned audience style whooping like
Yep.
you're a celebrity on a sitcom.
Yep. And then you do your famous. Do you want to give us it again? Another rendition,
And all that jazz.
and just
Yeah.
immediately
jazz hands
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night. It's been a great audience.
That would be
good.
rubbish. Critics would
Glad we
panic.
got that sorted.
It wouldn't make any money. It'd be terrible.
Would critics panic? I think they might call it avant-garde.
I think they'd call it new and edgy.
It could go one or two ways there, Kev. You know, they could, depending on what critics he gets in. You'll either get
Well, depending on
but is
Metacritic,
it
it could be
art?
better than Shadow of Mordor.
Well,
Oh.
not much is, to be honest.
good game.
Great game. Great game.
Yeah. What's
Finest
it?
in its generation.
What's this? I think that's not true.
No, probably not. It's up there, though.
It's a solid game.
It's like
That's a good
Batman
map.
in Middle Earth with like a cool Nemesis thing going on.
It's a solid, whatever it was, 87 out of 100, according
Move
to
on.
Metacritic. Well, we'll
I
miss.
said before, sorry. I thought
Well,
that was
I'd say-
pretty high.
I'd say I'd
quality
miss you,
game.
Lewis, but I'd be lying.
No, that's fine.
But no, I will miss you. I'll miss you.
I won't even say I'll miss you because
You won't. I'll
I
miss. I'll miss your ever-present just attempts to get me to leave the podcast.
I
we
think
really should do
occasionally successful rage
Yes.
quits from Chris.
Rage quits. Yeah. The thing is,
Exasperation to such a degree that Chris is just like, I am actually going because I can't handle this right now.
I can
okay?
no longer deal with the end of this podcast. I have to leave.
Are you auditioning for someone to replace Lewis? Not that I want to do it, but I'm just wondering if you're holding like
God,
an
no, I won't. Oh, jeez.
an
Well,
X Factor style
well,
audition. or
Obviously,
something.
we could not hope for anyone to replace Lewis. Ideally, we'd get someone in less annoying. But
That's
no,
not my ideal. Just
your
put that
ideal
out
is
there.
someone more annoying,
Or at least as equally
as equally annoying.
as turbulent.
Yeah, turbulent is a good way of describing it.
Hmm.
I like that. I don't know what we're doing at the minute. At the minute, I've got guests booked up for a little while to rotate through, so hopefully that'll keep us ticking over nicely. But of course, the downside now, if Kev's away, that leaves just me and a guest, and it's not that interesting. So I need to work that out. So we're doing something. Something will happen once I have had a chance to think about it. I've not had a chance to think about it yet. I might just
So
kidnap.
if you love the Sixth Axis and have a great speaking voice,
Yeah.
or not, doesn't tend to,
Yeah, that
too
really
much.
has no effect on it.
then send us your show reels at TSA Podcast on Twitter.
Like, basically, can you speak English?
that's not even a prerequisite.
Do
I think
not
probably.
really.
We're
probably-
international now.
Do you
don't-
read the website? Would probably be a.
Do you read the website?
again? Is that a prerequisite?
Well, I mean, I don't. So
Do you
No,
have
I was
do
going to say neither of you two do.
you have a microphone? I feel a microphone's probably useful.
yeah,
Ideally,
Microphone and Skype would probably be the best two qualities.
As long as you got a
Yeah.
microphone,
that's
Skype,
what we really look for in a candidate.
and
the right equipment.
Thursday
yeah,
evenings.
the ability to record. The
Record.
ability to record.
And
See, I'm ready for Broadway.
And
Yeah, you really are.
Thursday evenings, were you not doing anything? That's the ideal combination, really.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm busy on Thursday evenings. Otherwise, I'd audition.
That's a shame. At the minute, my current plan is to drive to Scotland and kidnap Blair. Might work. Don't know.
Why do you need? I mean, you know that this is a remote thing that we're doing here. Like
that's just unrelated. That's just my that's my general plan.
Thinking. Like, sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I'm still making my kidnapping plans.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's the real problem here. That's what's going on.
So I just need a microphone, Skype, and free on Thursdays.
Yeah. So
and where do I send my audition tape to?
You send it. You just tweet us into TSA Podcast. I don't know if you would be interested in auditioning, Lewis.
I'm not sure you'd make the cut.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't say these things because, as we all remember back at episode 1, I wasn't present, so I actually
nor for episode 2, 3, 4,
all
5,
the way
6,
through to
7,
36,
8, 9, 10.
I believe.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a bit of episode 1 earlier today.
It's very bad. You should not listen.
It's a Christmas special, and Lewis is very ill.
Yeah.
Oh, was I?
Yeah. I mean, that's not the official episode 1. Official episode 1 comes after that, but the first of this of the podcast in its current form was Christmas Spectacular.
Official episode 1 is in like the January after that.
Yeah. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 long years. So what's happened? So, I mean, when was that? That was 2011.
Yep.
So what's happened since 2011, guys?
Well, there was the 2012 Olympics.
Oh, they were good. Remember those?
That happened.
London. I was actually in Scotland for that, away from any broadcast media and a sort of communications dead zone. I actually thought
I was there for the
Paralympics. I was quite pleased to be avoiding all of this nonsense, sporty hype. But then coming back, I was quite disappointed because everyone seemed to be quite on board with it, and I thought I'd have more comrades in the sort of anti-sports league.
No, it was a good time. I went and saw archery.
Yeah.
I watched cycling in a Scottish pub with a bunch of Scottish people, and because it's Britain, everyone could get on board and be like, "Yay, go cyclists!"
Yeah,
I mean that's not necessarily how they worded it, but
Get to fuck cyclists.
Yeah,
probably
2012 Olympics were good. I mean, in that fight,
God, he's fast. Who's that? He's fast.
In the 5 years I have.
Who's that? He's even faster.
I've got 5 years older. That happened.
All right, this isn't a Lucas Graham song.
I don't understand.
I've neither changed job nor house.
Hey, you were just received. Actually, that's not true because on podcast episode 1, you were just telling us about your new job that you've got that you haven't started yet.
Oh yeah, so actually episode 1, I probably had started my job. The job I had in like the Christmas special. It's not the job I had. I had that job for like a week and quit.
Lewis, how many jobs have you had since 2011?
Well, 2011, around about summer 2011, I quit my almost life-ending job and went to work in a school, and now I'm a fully qualified teacher.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
We've been through that whole journey with you.
And now I don't ever want to be part of education, and I'm looking for another job.
Thank you, the government.
Yeah, well done, the Conservatives. I nearly applied for one the other day. There's one in Fareham for a motion designer.
Nice.
To do,
You could totally do that stuff.
Yeah, I know. But the problem that I couldn't apply because there was I've got no online presence, and I need to create a website and a portfolio. But I looked at their website and some of the animations they'd done, and I was sat there. I was like, "Oh my god, these are shocking!"
Yeah, like
these are so shit.
If any of you guys, listeners, have not seen Lewis's motion work, it is you probably will have if you've ever played something like Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty, because there's a little of it in that. But
the opening. Well, I just put it all together and made it move.
Yeah,
people provided me with all the good stuff.
But yeah, no, I think that's a very possible career. This has turned a little bit into career advice for Lewis Gaston podcast. Yeah. So moving on to Tuffcub, have you changed jobs since 2011?
Well, only last year. I'm still with the same company.
Great. That's all good stuff.
Really. I've been with the same company for 20 years now. I'm not going to move now.
So your musical career, of course, Lewis, has been a highlight occasionally. You released an EP and a full album, I believe.
I did.
In the course of of the podcast.
How did
Lewis
that go?
Gaston, was it called Requiem or something like that?
Well, I didn't release it to like a fanfare. It wasn't like I was going to become a pop star. I just wanted to put it out there, Tuffcub. Stop being such a fucking cynic, will you?
I am not being
just
a
because you've
cynic
had a number one DJ album, you little prick.
Yeah, well,
I feel like perhaps tempers are a little higher than they need to be.
I was asking, dear, because I've now finished all 19 tracks for Blair's game, all of which are brand new and original and completely different to what I've normally done before, and that's going to be coming out now as an album as well.
Yeah.
I was asking for advice.
And I mean, Lewis, have you written 19 tracks? I don't think so.
I think fine. There was a good 13 on the album, and I've got more shit in my computer.
But
yeah, well, okay, if we're counting stuff on a computer, I've got about 500.
Whatever.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well, I think this is going quite well so far.
Should we do the news?
How many of those songs are just like 1 second long, like Tuffcub, just so you can have more than Lewis?
No,
it's just a single snare sample.
At least 400.
If you're counting this sample library, I think that probably extends the track list to quite a significant amount.
I write a tune and I'll do it and I go, this is bloody brilliant, and then I'll get to the point where I have to go and do all the twiddly bits and master it and add the additional snare rolls and just make it polish, and I really can't be asked, and then I give up and go.
See, that's really enviable that you write a tune and you're like, this is brilliant, because I write a tune and I'm just going, this is rubbish. I should never have bothered. A waste of time. But then I have to do, I get less far than you because I have like hundreds of 16 to 32 bar projects that I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's enough of that. Never actually finished, so yeah.
Anyway. News.
Let's see Lewis, we'll talk more about your departure at the end of the show, but
okay.
This is the news of Lewis's departure, which he broke on Twitter. But now time for the actual news. Kev, did you do the thing? No, of course not. So
I was going to, and then Kate told me to make dinner, which is fair because last week
you didn't even make dinner.
No, wait, listen. Last week I recorded the podcast having not had dinner, and Kate was out, and then I forgot to have any dinner, and then went to bed. And then Kate was like, "What did you have for dinner?" I was like, "I actually forgot."
I do that at least 2 times a month when
this is the first time in my life I've forgotten to eat dinner. It's a traumatizing experience.
I didn't eat dinner like 2 times last week.
Well, that's weird. That's not normal.
I'm a busy man.
Anyway, news.
I don't eat much dinner, I have to say. Sorry, Tuffcub. Jeez.
We're half an hour in already.
We're not. We're like...
It's a special, isn't it? It's a Lewis special. It's a Lewis special. And for a special Lewis.
It's not that special. Calm down.
Special. Special.
All right.
Anyway,
news.
I like it. I think that should actually be the new jingle.
I was going to say, we've not had that one before.
In the news this week, of course, the biggest news.
Yeah.
I preferred the first one.
Yeah, it's better first time, but that's fine.
Sorry. Biggest bit of news this week, of course, was the announcement of the PlayStation VR price. It will be exactly £349 as predicted, and I believe Tuffcub, you were saying it was coming out in June, Tuffcub, and when's it actually coming out, Tuffcub?
I said it was still scheduled.
When's it actually coming out?
Come out in October.
And when did I say it was coming out?
Don't know.
No, I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, nobody likes I told you so, you know?
Yeah, I think I was right. I think that's the main thing here. But anyway,
primary takeaway.
Yes, the main takeaway from this is
Chris was right.
Chris was right. Whatever. PlayStation VR, fine. I was right. Important bit.
I'd be happy to pay a bit more if they renamed it Morpheus.
I know. What's that about?
Yeah, I know. It was a way better name.
Such a disappointing name reveal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we're going to call it, wait for it, PlayStation Virtual Reality Headset. Cool.
Yeah,
rolls off the tongue.
The last thing they gave a strange name was the Vita, and that didn't do very well.
No.
So might as well name it to say what it does.
And also, while you are correct in saying that PlayStation Virtual Reality, it doesn't really work, but PSVR works quite nicely. It's a nice, smooth acronym.
So I was saying to Tuffcub on Twitter a couple of days ago, yesterday, whenever the reveal was, that obviously last time he was on the podcast, you predicted that
No Man's Sky
would be a very strong contender for
I am
VR.
still saying that it's going to be VR.
Yeah.
I haven't been proved wrong yet,
No, I completely agree as well that I do think it would be super strong as a contender for a VR great.
To be fair, at what point can we declare you've been proved wrong? Because if it's
I would say September.
Because okay, so as a PSVR launch title, you would be willing to accept that you would be wrong if it doesn't come to PSVR at launch. Okay, because otherwise I was going to say it just goes eternally. You're like, well, they could still add it. They could still add the support. I know that game is 20 years old, but they could add the support.
I was quite surprised that, obviously with PlayStation, one of their big things is VR can be social. That's a big push that they're going for. It's even on their main kind of message in their advert. But all of the sort of launch games in the video that came out with the news of the launch date and price are all sort of single player experiences, and I thought that was quite odd. The only thing that is social that they've advertised so far is the Playroom VR stuff, and people play with Playroom for 10 minutes and then go, yeah, that was fine.
Well, they also announced, it came out today, that there's a virtual reality social network coming as well, which looks interesting.
Ooh.
Definitely a Facebook, Oculus sort of preempting.
Oh, Facebook is bad enough. Put it into VR.
It looks a bit weird, to be honest. It's kind of a bit Second Life-y.
PlayStation Home was not a great...
that was going to be my question. Is it just going to be Home?
PlayStation Home suffered just from an absolutely crushing lack of charisma and charm. There was just nothing. It was this weird, sterile world where everyone was sort of model looks in a sort of weird...
When did you... It was to start with, I agree, but if you went back to it nearer the end, it was really, really good. I mean, you could spend hours wandering around and playing games and just... I mean, there was so much stuff in there by the end of it.
I think possibly it had lost me before it reached its potential.
Yeah, I think it did. It lost a lot of people.
I will say, I honestly thought you were going to say that PlayStation Home's main issue was a lack of VR. And you'd be like, and now it'll be solved. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. Obviously, regular listeners will be fully aware that I'm quite excited about the world of VR. And the fact that it's in October gives me a chance to save up for it. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, who's getting it?
Yeah, I'm going to.
I've got the Eye and two move controllers. Wouldn't you need two?
So no, what they have is games that the people with controllers play using the screen, and then you tend to play as something else with a first-person view.
Yeah, it's very similar to kind of the Wii U's asynchronous gameplay ideas.
See, that's where that falls down, because if I was wearing the VR headset, I would not trust the person in the room.
No, neither would I.
Because you can't see, no. I need to be able to see all exits and all people.
Lewis, would you
need to address your control issues and then get on board with PlayStation VR?
Lewis, would you trust the person in the room even if you weren't in VR? I just imagine you constantly casting sideways glances at them.
Oh no! Like I say, I have to see every exit and every.
That's just why I imagine it. Every time you're playing a game, just glancing sideways at the person next to you on the sofa.
Ex-military. Sort of the traits of someone who might be Secret Service, something like that.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
I don't want to die, so I shan't press it.
He didn't say he was going to kill you.
No, he didn't need to.
That was implied.
I know the stakes.
Implicit.
I wouldn't tell him. That gets rid of the fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, alongside this announcement of the price and the release date, there were 230 different developers all confirmed to be working on PSVR games. That's like a lot.
Yeah, it's good because the thing that both the iToy, the Eye, and the Move have all suffered from.
Pretty much the Vita.
And the Vita is not enough stuff.
And it is pretty much everyone. It is.
Was it? There's one big company you said isn't. Who was it?
Activision.
Yeah.
Activision. But EA, Warner Brothers, 505, Sega, Capcom, you name it, all the big lot.
Sega?
Yep.
Cool.
Bizarrely enough.
Do you mean?
No, I'm just commenting on your.
I was going to say, do you mean Sega?
Sega. I always say Sega. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I need to check something.
I mean, that is sort of exactly what we're doing. You don't need to.
That's pretty much the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we, get hung up on Weapon and Penguin and yet he can say Sega?
We didn't.
I literally shouted.
We challenged him immediately.
Right, but it wasn't enough,
he was
was
challenged.
It wasn't enough, was it?
No, but he's a guest, so we have to be nicer.
I always say Sega.
And you're always wrong, but that's not the point here.
I mean, that is partially the point. That is pretty much the point we're making.
It literally tells you how to pronounce it when you start it. It's like Sega.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's quite bit crushed, isn't it? It could actually be saying Sugar.
Just very bit crushed. That's I mean, a solid argument there, Kev. Kev, we should go get pho soon. It's like
Sorry, did you finish your sentence? I didn't.
We had a nice time last time.
I know. I'm more comments on how people say things. I know it's the correct way to say that. Vietnamese soup, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, pho.
Pho.
Not pho. Pho.
Oh, pho.
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 Pho, as in it's
You're listening
furry.
to the Sixth Axis podcast.
This is all staying in. It's gold.
Pho. Pho.
Anyway, we should go get that, and Lewis should come, and Tuffcub. Tuffcub, you can come too.
Sorry, I was looking at things. Come where?
Come to Brighton.
Do you like pho?
Pho?
The Vietnamese soup.
The soup that's spelt PHO.
I was going to say, let's not ask Tuffcub if he likes pho. We all know the answer.
That's true.
Pho. I call it pho.
I was going to say it's pho, isn't it?
It's actually. I think Chris is probably more correct in this case.
Yeah,
It's unusual.
I've watched loads of cooking programs where they actually go to Vietnam to cook it, and all the natives go pho.
No, but it's definitely not pho. Is my point.
Yeah.
You definitely don't pronounce
I've never had
it. It's really nice.
It's sort of a spicy soup.
Have you had ramen?
Yes.
It's like ramen.
It's not.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit.
It's
What's
very like noodle
Ramen
soup.
is Japanese noodle soup.
And pho it's pretty close.
Noodle soup.
I mean,
Good Friends reference. Hey, that's not been on since the podcast started, has it?
oh, no, that's true. Was it on when the podcast started? It already ended.
Yeah,
because it ended in like 2000.
It's been off air for a decade at least.
Yeah, then there's the reunion this year. Or next year, I don't know.
Yeah. Is this still in the podcast news?
I don't know.
Friends reunion.
Friends reunion.
Tuffcub, have you finished looking up what you want to look up?
2004 was the last.
What?
Friends episode.
I was looking up to see if Hello Games were on the list of PlayStation developers.
Oh, well, are they?
No.
Yeah. That feels like that would have been an oversight, given they are currently making one game.
Hey, remember when Ross accidentally said Rachel instead of Emily?
No. In video games news, instead of news from Friends like a decade and a half ago, Microsoft...
We were on a break.
Microsoft have announced cross-network play. Xbox
Could I
versus...
be any more excited?
Oi.
What?
How you doing?
Microsoft have announced cross-network play. Xbox versus PlayStation is now possible.
Yes.
Xbox what? Versus PlayStation?
You can play online. Xbox versus PlayStation is now a distinct possibility. Now, obviously, no one is currently doing it, but it is a potential thing.
Wow.
Yep.
I'd like to see how that would work for the exclusive games.
I mean, not...
You know what is
Won't.
interesting?
Will it?
I'm
joking.
So Courtney Cox was originally going to portray Rachel, and Jennifer Aniston was going to be Monica, and they disagreed, so they switched around.
I feel that's the opposite of interesting.
Yep.
You know, like when you spend an hour talking about cricket or wrestling or Step Up,
yeah,
sort of payback for that, really.
He's got a point.
Is Friends less interesting or more interesting than cricket?
More.
I don't know. More people like cricket than Friends.
I don't know if that's true.
There's a lot of people...
Because like the entirety of America like Friends, and none of them like cricket.
But the entirety of India likes cricket. And there's more people in
India. But they probably
India.
also like Friends.
Touché. Wow. I mean, India's population is nearly a billion more than America. I had no idea there were so many people in India.
There's a lot of people in India, see? I think that's proved my point. But I will concede Lewis's point.
They will like Friends.
Some of them will like Friends. That's a solid argument. I have not got the demographic data.
1.252 billion people in India.
It's a lot of people in India.
316.5 million. That's only 0.1 billion people fewer than China, but they've got a lot smaller landmass.
Yeah.
Geography, you crazy thing.
Did you know you could fit all 7 billion people on Earth in Los Angeles?
Yeah, but it'd be a bit crowded, wouldn't it?
No, I'm just saying. I've
heard you could put it on the Isle of Wight.
I watched a cool infographic thing that said space isn't the issue because you could fit.
You could put them anywhere depending on how swished you're willing to be.
Yeah.
If you just stack
sanitation issues, isn't
Fit them all in a container if you smash them up a bit.
If you want to just stack them all vertically.
Well, that's what it said. Standing
Well,
on each,
the ones at the top would
was,
probably not be able to breathe.
it was a good representation of how little space we actually take up.
Yeah, but there's other factors, isn't there?
I know that. Jesus Christ!
The demand for meat, for example, uses
but there's,
huge.
you'll have like
swath
6 billion people below you. There's a
I like meat.
raft of meat.
So what Microsoft have announced is that you are going to be able to play cross-platform from the Xbox One to the PC, which I kind of assumed was possible anyway, because
No.
I know, but it just seemed, because they've been going on about the integration so much recently, it just seemed like it was already possible.
Aren't they just the same thing these days anyway?
And also, I find it stranger that they didn't have it, but Sony did have cross-platform to the PC.
Yeah, with DC Universe was the only thing.
Well, like Final Fantasy, whatever has got it. And
Street Fighter's
got it now. Rocket League has had it. Interestingly, Psyonix have said that when Rocket League comes to the Xbox One, there's going to be cross-play Xbox One to PC, much like there is PS4 to PC. And although
actually, fact checking,
I think you'll find
Rocket League is already on Xbox. It is the patch.
Oh, sorry, the cross-network play patch. Yes, sorry.
That's coming later. I think it's April.
Yeah.
Can you spectate in a meaningful way in Rocket League yet?
Yes.
Have they actually got a camera that's good?
Yes, they fixed it the other day.
Oh, cool.
All right. But yeah, so basically they very cagely said, "Oi, Sony, do you want to, if you turned on cross-platform play as well, that'd be pretty good." And Sony gave a statement that was basically no. So, Sony gave a statement saying PlayStation has been supporting cross-platform play between PC on several software titles, starting with Final Fantasy XI on PS2 and PC back in 2002. We'd be happy to have the conversation with any publisher or developers who are interested in cross-platform play, which kind of very cagely talks around Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they said a very similar thing.
Yeah.
But the Sony one seems more PC focused, whereas Microsoft is was kind of more talking about other platforms, which I find interesting.
Good. No one else does. Next.
It'd be nice if everyone could play together.
I'm sure it would. Yeah.
We should all get Ebony and Ivory, whatever. Everyone get together. It's lovely.
Remember Richard, played by Tom Selleck?
Oh yeah.
Is this going to be the whole episode? Have you just friends?
Also,
I'm sorry I brought friends up. I'm sorry.
Did you know that Giovanni Ribisi, who plays Phoebe's brother, turned up in an earlier episode when she was busking because he was the one that came back for his condom out of her guitar case?
Wow. So
I have a friend's
darker
fact.
Message, isn't it?
I have a friend's fact.
What is your friend's fact? Please be good.
If you look out of the window in Rachel's apartment over the how many series it is, the view changes each series. And she goes up a couple of floors, she goes down a couple of floors, there's a completely different building in the background. So apparently her entire apartment moves around.
Rachel doesn't have an apartment.
Where does she live?
Monica's.
Across the series, she lives at
the main
Monica's.
apartment.
The main apartment, Phoebe's, and then she lives at Ross's, and she lived at Joey's and Chandler's for a bit.
I'm sorry, it's Monica's apartment. I do apologise for getting my facts.
Yeah, get it right.
So we like that. Lewis does know his friends' facts, doesn't he?
I love Friends.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Tuffcub, as co-news editor for TheSixthAxis.com, is there any other news we should be aware of?
Oh, right. Spring that on me. Yes, there is. He says, looking at our top 5.
Because I looked at the news, but I didn't see anything else.
We better mention Oddworld, Soulstorm.
Oh yeah, because Peter did that.
Because Peter did it.
Well, I mean, like it wasn't just Peter. That would be weird. He doesn't really know how to make games, but
no. So yeah, it's kind of a remake of Abe's Exodus.
Yeah.
Kind of. They haven't explained exactly how or why or what it is. And they're kind of doing.
It's meant to be like super dark and gritty kind of thing, by the sound of it.
Interestingly, Oddworld are on the list of developers for PlayStation VR.
Yes.
So it might be something to do with that.
Yep.
In other VR news, there is another headset which is called the Sulong Q.
Oh yeah, I saw this. What the fuck?
It's powered basically by AMD chips, and the big selling point of this one is basically everything's on board and it's wireless.
I assume it's super expensive with really bad battery life.
They haven't done anything to do with price or release date or anything. Well, no, it's out this spring apparently, but no price yet. But yeah, the big thing is it's wireless and it does AR as well as VR. So basically, although you've got the screens over your face, it's got a camera on it, so it can project whatever is in front of you onto the
nice.
screens
That's pretty cool.
and overlay stuff. So basically, it's doing what HoloLens does, but much better.
Potentially much better.
And it's much better. It's got a massive, it's 110 degree field of view.
Yeah, but that's not the exact same thing that HoloLens is doing. I feel you're not giving HoloLens very much credit.
What HoloLens is basically AR.
HoloLens is AR, but way fancier than bog standard AR. Like
So is this.
HoloLens is this mapping the walls of your room? Because that's what
Yes.
HoloLens does.
Yeah, it's doing the whole putting a virtual telly on your thing and putting games on your tabletop and all that kind of crap.
Interesting. I find it unlikely that it will be better than HoloLens.
Well, HoloLens has only got that tiny.
No.
field in it.
My point being, HoloLens also has Microsoft behind it, one of the largest companies in the world.
And this has AMD behind it, one of the most powerful graphics and processor makers in the world as well.
Yeah, but is it is it powered
Clash of the Titans.
But is it powered by AMD or is it just
Yes.
with is it built by AMD or just powered by AMD?
It's built by this new company called, well, I think it's a new company called Sulong-Q. But hang on, I've lost it now. Here we go. Right, okay. Yeah, so it's no wires. It's got AR and VR. It's spatial computing with Microsoft Windows 10. Enjoy holographic computer interfaces once reserved for science fiction. It's got multitasking, spatial redirection for endless virtual walks, even in your living room, whatever the fuck that means. Console quality graphics and spatial audio. But yeah, no release date as yet. It looks posh and expensive, put it that way.
Yeah, I'm just dubious of amazing sounding products from companies no one's heard of before. Particularly in the Kickstarter era as well. That's made me very cagey about that sort of thing. Anyway, it's time for what we did. Let's move on. Tuffcub, you've been playing Heavy Rain on the PS4. What we did? Tuffcub.
So no one told us life was gonna be this way. Good.
I know where you work as well. And we'll find you, Kev. Tuffcub, have you been playing Heavy Rain on PS4?
I have. Yeah, I've literally just finished it just before we started on the podcast.
Did you play it on PS3?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Give us the comparative analysis, Tuffcub.
Well, do you know what?
Same
amount of rain?
Yeah, it's the same amount of rain.
How heavy is it?
I would expect slightly more rain, actually, given the new processing power.
next gen rain.
Well, technically, all they've done is add some more shit.
Next gen Jason.
Jason!
I forgot you had to do that bit. In terms of what they've done, they've upgraded it to 1080p, and there's some extra shadows and a bit better lighting and bits and pieces.
Jason,
does it improve the predictability of it?
I don't know. I can't tell you that because I know what the story is.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If you've already played it,
it's the same game. They haven't just made like.
Well, they should have changed the killer. That's what they should have done.
That seems like a big rewrite.
And made it less predictable.
That seems like that seems like that's not a port at that point.
I actually I don't agree with that particularly.
Oh, I guessed it the minute that person came on screen.
I didn't.
Fair enough.
No, I didn't get it either.
Was it? Is that because you're the killer, Lewis?
Yes, that's how I kill my victim.
Yes.
Puddles.
Puddles in video games.
Yeah, some of it's it doesn't look that ropey, to be honest. You know, it still holds up pretty well.
I love that as a positive thing. It doesn't look that ropey.
Well, it's God, it must be getting on now.
Jason.
Yeah. it's interesting to see things like which when it was released, everybody went, "Ooh, that's impressive." Because I don't know if you remember, Lewis, the character called Jaden has a pair of glasses which he puts on, and he goes into a virtual world, and it is basically a VR headset, which back when this was released sounded all posh and science fiction, and we're actually getting one in a couple of months.
Yeah, I remember it well because I wrote a Choose Your Own Story, a Bridge Too Far version of it.
Yes, you did.
That took me fucking ages.
Yeah, it's 6 years old now. Just looking at it, holds up quite well. I've played it differently this time, so I managed to get all 4 characters through to the end. And to be honest, how the story branches out with depending on who survives, it's actually quite different towards the end.
I managed to get all 4 characters the first time around, but there was one moment where it's probably a moment of great shame in my life, actually, where I killed one of the characters and then unplugged my PlayStation before I had a chance to save over it.
Yeah, well, I got all 4 through this time. When I played on PlayStation 3, I managed to kill Jaden by getting him crushed in a car. And
yeah, that was the one. That was the one that I narrowly avoided.
Yeah, that one, and I got Ethan arrested, so he wasn't at the end game either. So actually, because that actually happened, the car crash and the Ethan arrested happens about 3/4 of the way through. So there was quite a lot of new stuff I hadn't played before, which was fun. And there was a lot of stuff I didn't actually remember from playing it.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, there's like a really big shootout sequence near the end, which was really quite enjoyable. Yeah, I actually really, really enjoyed it. The ending's still kind of emotional, or almost tearful, but yeah, I think well worth a purchase. I think it's like 20 quid or 25 quid with Beyond, and if you haven't played either of them, they're absolutely worth playing, I think. What did you think of it first time, Lewis?
I liked it. Well, I like I said, I did guess the person straight away, so that was a bit of an anticlimax for me. And no, I appreciated what it was trying to do. I thought it had a few pitfalls, but I appreciated it in general, and I did enjoy the experience because it was something else. But I was a massive fan of Fahrenheit, whatever it's called. It's just Fahrenheit, isn't it?
What was it?
I want to say Fahrenheit something, but that's the film.
451.
But isn't that the film about 9/11?
Oh, is it?
It was just called Fahrenheit, I think. But I quite like that. Yeah, I appreciated what they were trying to do, and I liked most of it. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, I actually think it's a better game in terms of actual game than Beyond Two Souls. Purely because you're actually there's more of a plot. You're investigating things. You're trying to work out who this killer is, and there's a lot more actual gameplay within it. The controls are rather clunky though. Going back to it, it's got kind of like the tank controls from Resident Evil. But yeah, it was worth replaying.
Yeah, I remember those controls at the time. It's just that a bit weird. Like it doesn't feel like it had. I think even then it didn't feel like it really had a place in modern kind of action adventure games like that.
No, I quite agree. Back then it didn't, but now with Life is Strange and all that kind of thing, and God knows everybody's gone to the Rapture and all that kind of games where it's story based rather than lots of gameplay. We've got to the point where now we're used to that kind of game. Where the gameplay perhaps is secondary to what is actually going on the screen. It's the story which you're meant to be there for. And I think back in 2010 when it came out, it did get unfairly slated for just being more of a movie than a game.
Yeah. Whereas now we're a little bit more tolerant about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people these days, someone new to PlayStation 4 going back to it wouldn't be surprised by the apparent lack of gameplay. There is quite a lot in it, to be honest. But it's certainly a lot more than there is in Life is Strange or as I said, Everybody's Gone to Rapture, things like that. But I think nowadays we're a lot more tolerant to that kind of gameplay. So it was a little bit ahead
of the curve, really, in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And so was Beyond, to be honest.
Yeah, but not as good.
I don't know. I'm going back and finishing Beyond next, so I'll let you know at some point. Yes, worth picking up if you can find it cheap. I think it's like 25 quid for both on the PlayStation Store, something like that.
Yeah, that is
or
cheap.
14 quid each for both, or each one or something like that. But yeah,
some amount of money that's not a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's taken me 11
years.
11 hours.
11 years.
About 11 hours to go through it, the whole lot. And that's a lot of game. So, highly recommended from me if you have never played it before.
Do you know what else I assume takes about 11 hours? Watching House of Cards, season newest one that Lewis did.
Season newest one?
Newest one.
I want the most spoiler-free thing. All right,
I've
not seen any of the new season.
I would like the opposite. Could you spoil as much as possible? I've only seen half of season 1.
I've never seen any of it.
Well, both of you need to watch it because it's excellent.
I kind of liked it, but I don't know. Eh.
No, it's phenomenal.
I would rather watch The West Wing.
Oh, House of Cards is amazing. Yeah, so I've watched season 4.
There's nothing to say you can't watch both, Chris.
Yeah.
That is an option.
I can't watch them both at the same time.
No, we didn't say at the same time.
And I'm constantly watching The West Wing over and over on a loop.
Well, you should probably stop that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound healthy.
I didn't mean literally, but maybe.
Yes. So a bridge too. Sorry, I was reading my old Heavy Rain. A bridge too far.
Your brain just cross circuits there a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to revisit it. I was surprised that it's still on TSA. Yeah, so I watched. Yeah, it is. I watched House of Cards season 4 as it is on Netflix now. Yeah, and I just think it's one of the best programs ever. It's just amazing. I love it. And well, I can't really say much now if I'm not allowed to spoil it.
Well, you could talk about how you liked it, etc.
You can spoil it if you like, but I will go away, and then you have to get me back on by text if you want.
No, that's fine. We don't want you to go away.
Don't we?
Yeah, no, I just think that because I was a bit concerned how they were going to go with it, because obviously at the end of season 3 something big happens, and I knew it would be a case of perhaps everything will start unraveling, and that will be even bigger because he is now such and such. In fact, that's not a spoiler, because if you'd seen Twitter or something, you know that he becomes president of the United States. It picks up just after he's become POTUS, and Kev's left. So it's about his time now as the big chief, really. And there's loads of things going on against him. So the first half of the season, it starts with quite a big divide in his life, and because of the person. Oh, see, this is really difficult. Because of the person who it is, there's this real sense of one-upmanship because they're both ruthless bastards, and you really think that the other one. This makes no sense. I need to be able to say their names, but I can't. What do I do?
Just give them pretend names. Name them after your family members.
Mr. Underwood,
TSA stuff.
Mr. Underwood, and Mrs. Underwood. Oh shit. No. Yeah. So there's this. It starts off with this big rivalry going on, head to head between two ruthless people, and you're really interested to see who comes out on top. And some of the stuff that they do to each other in order to try and get one over on each other is quite brutal, and it's just so clever. The dialogue and the way it all pans out is just so brilliant, and it like really has me hooked for the whole time. And then as that all starts to come together and resolve itself, you're then left with a really strong sort of group of people desperately trying to cling on to all this power and stuff, while everyone is coming at them with allegations and stories out of the closet and things like that. And it just plays out brilliantly. Season 4, it goes from an unfamiliar sort of territory, and then goes back into that gritty playing people off each other and all that lot as it gets towards the end, but it really ramps up because he is now the president of the United States. It all becomes so much more serious and so much more involved. And the last shot in the season 4 is just genius. I can't wait for season 5 already. Yeah, and again, if you've watched any of it or you're going to watch it, you'll become familiar with the point where Frank will sort of break the fourth wall and he'll talk to us, the viewers.
I do like his
Snidey
interludes. Sorry, they're nice.
Yeah, they're really good, and he slags off someone that he's talking with, but he's obviously we can hear it. But at the end of season 4, he does one of them, but it's so well done, and quite chilling as well with what's going on around it, and then it just ends, and I just want season 5 already. So yeah, I highly recommend House of Cards because it's just brilliant. If you like The West Wing, or if you like political thrillers or thrillers in general, really, you should really watch it. It's great dialogue, superb writing, characters are phenomenal, and it just I love the fact. I think it's the perfect thing for Netflix because they don't have to fit all of this sensationalism into like the first 2 episodes to hook people in and then waver a bit. They've managed to create a whole season's worth of content and then, pace it brilliantly over the I think it's 12 episodes that there is. It's just brilliant. I absolutely love it.
I assume you'll now be waiting so you can just watch all of Daredevil in one go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was very upset that I've now got to wait a year and a half or so for season 5 probably, but then I remembered Daredevil's out.
All of that.
And then after Daredevil will be the second season of Timmy Schmidt.
Yeah, and then I think the Iron Fist might be coming before the next season of Jessica Jones.
I'm
not sure if Iron Fist is coming out. They but I think maybe, and he might be in the new season of Daredevil. I'm not positive. But that'd be interesting if he is.
I know. When I watched Jessica Jones, I loved the crossover with Daredevil, with the introduction of Rosario Dawson's character. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see. I don't know because I haven't seen the new season of Daredevil, but then I wonder if there's going to be more crossover with Jessica Jones, or maybe like I think I saw someone that maybe Luke Cage shows up, which would be quite cool.
Apparently, Luke Cage is. They're talking about that for the next Deadpool.
Oh, that'd be alright.
Oh no, Luke Cage is in Jessica Jones. Sorry, I'm thinking of a completely different character. Cable, that's one. Yeah, Luke Cage is in.
I said I think he might be crossing over into Deadpool in the new season. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
He might be.
Into Daredevil.
Into Daredevil. Sorry. Oh, fuck's sake. Yes.
So
Luke Cage might be crossing over from Jessica Jones into Daredevil, which to me makes a lot more sense than Jessica Jones. I think it's easier to do kind of that secondary character as the crossover than to do absolutely. Jessica Jones herself, because that would be tricky.
I would love to get to the point because I love Daredevil and I love Jessica Jones and things like that. I would love to see. They're doing like the Avengers and Civil War where they get everyone together. I'd love to see a series where everything is combined, which is a possibility for the Netflix Marvel sort of universe at the moment. That would be quite cool, I think, if it could, if the story could be done well.
Yeah, it would be great.
It would cost a lot, but
yeah, I just kind of like what they're doing with Netflix. It's
fair. I like the fact that it's more for adults. I like the fact that it's not twee and it's not.
Well, and I like just how very down to earth all of that world is as well. How
it's got lots of fucking in it.
Well, no, not just that, but it feels like a very realistic portrayal of New York, which the Avengers doesn't at all.
No, and I like the fact that it's still in keeping because they mention, there's a whole thing about Jessica Jones and when the aliens attacked New York and the Avengers came into it. There's a really good connection there to that world still, but it's still a believable, more gritty environment. And actually, they're using that event as a very good sort of grounding for some of their characters, which I think is really well done.
Yeah, I agree. I really want to. The thing is, right, I like those shows, but I didn't finish Jessica Jones. Generally, the reason I didn't finish Jessica Jones is actually because
you didn't finish it.
Only because the is the genuine reason. The Purple Man creeps me out too much.
What, David Tennant?
David Tennant's character just freaked me the fuck out.
And I was played, wasn't it?
And I was just
I've forgotten his name now.
He's called. I know that he's
Kilgrave.
That's
Kilgrave,
it.
yeah. Just He kind of just made me uncomfortable to the extent I was like, I don't want to watch this now. I feel
And
very.
And that was enough to make you stop watching the show.
Yeah, I think probably because
Kudos to David Tennant.
I'd watched like 6 or 7. I was ill one day and I watched like 6 or 7 episodes in a row. And then I was like, no more, please.
I think you should go back to it.
I think I probably will.
It's such an interesting power as well. Like when people go, what would be your superpower? I don't think I've ever heard of anyone going, just whatever persuasion. I say they do. Yeah. It's just,
I also
I'm
feel
not familiar with the comics, so it was completely new to me. And I just thought, that's, and then when it goes into the whole bit about him not being able to talk to people because they would just go and do it, you think, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. You would have to think about everything you say.
Yeah. But I think the thing with as well was like I was watching it when I was ill, and it was like nighttime and my brain wasn't working properly, and that's not a good show to watch in those circumstances.
Right, yeah.
Because you're just like, I feel deeply creeped out and uncomfortable, and I'm going to have very bad dreams if I don't turn this off.
I feel like this is making me into a worse person.
Yeah. Yeah. So whereas Daredevil you can kind of watch. Actually I haven't finished Daredevil because I got to nearly the end and I didn't quite finish it, but I do need to finish that because I actually really like Daredevil. I think I'm on like the second to last episode actually, so I should finish.
Season 2 comes out pretty soon, right?
I think it's out
Friday.
now. Is
Tomorrow.
it Friday? Okay.
Tomorrow.
So out last Friday,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this on Monday.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, it could have been out hundreds of years ago, as we've established.
We've established many
and if
times.
you're from another planet, hola.
Yeah.
Spanish is bound
You
to
probably
reach
speak
them.
Spanish.
Yeah, you probably speak Spanish. That's most likely.
Very popular language.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, at the minute, the thing I'm most excited for in that kind of realm is still Batman versus Superman.
Oh, that looks so bad.
Like, I know that Civil War is out very soon as well, but I want to see Batman versus Superman just because it looks really bad.
Have we spoken about the Civil War trailer?
Yeah, we did.
No.
We did.
Oh, did you? Oh,
but you weren't here. We talked about it because we talked about Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. The completely CGI'd Spider-Man.
But
actually, I've read a lot of analysis and stuff about this because we did because I even remember I was there. I had this conversation.
Yeah, you were on that podcast.
But since saying I hated the costume, I'm actually much more on board with it now. Having seen like higher resolution stuff and like apparently the eyes narrowing aren't like a Deadpool-esque just magical animated face. It's
you can hear the
lenses.
You can hear,
like a wear of lenses.
Yeah, you can hear the mechanical wearing. If you listen to the trailer, you can hear it.
Yeah. So slightly more on board with that now.
I actually kind of like someone's point that it actually reflects his dual personality. It's like the photographer Peter Parker as well.
That's true.
Like I kind of like that, the idea that their lenses kind of reflects that in a nice subtle way. I'm very excited for that as well. But I really want to see Batman vs Superman just because it's DC's attempt to establish something new, you know.
But it's going to be terrible. It might not be.
Yeah, but we kind of know roughly like.
We know everything that's going to happen from the 4-minute long trailer.
No, but
it's going to be awful.
No, but I mean, the thing with Civil War as well is like that's an established universe. We've probably got
That's true. This is going to be at least a story that is new.
And we've got like we kind of know to some extent how Marvel movies play out and what the feel of Marvel movies is.
I'm more looking forward to Suicide Squad than I am.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, but that's not out for a little bit yet, so you can't be like you can't be excited about it at this point.
Why not?
I refuse to be excited about things. You can be excited about things in chronological order, Kev.
I'm excited about VR.
Them's the rules. No. One thing at a time. Now, VR's acceptable because it's a technology, but you can't be excited about any other technologies at the same time.
Right. Well, I think like
one thing per category.
Yeah, I can't think of any kind of imminent technologies other than. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm excited about. The new Tesla Model 3 that's being announced on the 31st of March.
Are you more excited
to be the affordable model? Apparently,
pick one. You can be excited about that or VR.
Both.
No, one at a time. Those are the rules, Kev. Been established. How excited
Tesla then? Because it's sooner.
How excited are you about Screeps?
Hey, it's good. So Screeps, can I talk to you about Screeps, please?
Yeah.
Can you just let me get a word in edgeways? Jesus.
What's Screeps?
So Screeps is a game that I've been playing. And it's a browser-based game with a fairly niche audience because you have to at least have some ability to program using JavaScript in order to play it.
See, what I like about this game is that Kev pitched this to me and was like, Chris will like this. I looked up and was like, okay, let's get about coding. I can see why Kev thought I would like this. But also I went, so Kev is going, I don't get enough work at work. So it'd be good if I could do some work type things while not at work.
Yeah, no, right. So let me go back to basics. So Screeps is a game where it's a kind of tower defense, energy collecting. You have to spawn these little creeps that go around and defend your tower from enemy creeps and collect energy and harvest and upgrade your spawn points. However, they have absolutely no AI. So you've got to write their behaviors yourself. So they come with a kind of basic toolkit of stuff that they can do. So you make their body parts out of you make each creep out of individual body parts. So there's 8 in total, including things like move, attack, carry, but all of these cost energy, and so you can only build because you could have like move and have a super fast one, but that would cost all of the energy, so it wouldn't actually be able to collect anything or fight anyone or have any amount of kind of armor or anything like that. And so it's up to you to choose what configuration of creeps to spawn, but also like what they do once they have been spawned. And like it's completely open. Like if you can imagine it and you have the ability to program it, then they can do it. And so it's really interesting. And it's an open world MMO experience, although it's a kind of flat map based game. So like you can scroll along in the map and there's other people's creeps doing things that other people on the internet have programmed them to do. And so I was thinking, because with the free version, because it's a subscription, because it's just an indie dev, and they need money because they host all of your creeps all of the time. So the idea is that they carry on working, like when you're offline, your AI agents carry on doing the things that you've programmed them to do. And so the first thing I've done is I've made it so that when I've got a spawn point, the first thing it does is it checks to see if it's got fewer than 5 workers, then it just makes a worker. As long as it's not in danger, there's no enemies nearby, then it just makes another worker to go out and harvest energy. And then, like, as soon as there's an enemy present on its little area of the map, then it'll spawn as many guards as there are enemies. And a guard is has the ability to move and attack and has a bit of armor on it. And then I've got the guards to seek out the enemies as long as the hit point difference between them isn't too big, because otherwise they go off in search of bosses and try and take them on their own and that sort of thing, which I only found out through the hard way when my guard was just like, where does this guy go? And there's a guy down with 5,000 health. Right, yeah, he's not going to win that fight. So yeah, it's a fascinating concept and kind of really, it really appeals to the side of me that's like, you can make them do anything. You just have to know how and what you want. And I was thinking, I got a bit carried away last night thinking about potential strategies. And I was like, you could have a genetic algorithm where the selection pressure is like they either die or they don't. And then over the course of time, they could pass on their successful genes to the next generation of creeps. And therefore, I don't even have to program what the right configuration is. They just automatically get better. Except that, genetic algorithms, if they have to be implemented in real time, take about as long as evolution to actually get anywhere.
Yep.
And also could suffer from local and minima and maxima and that sort of thing. But it was a cool idea. If you're going to do genetic algorithms, then you really want to be able to test your solution to the problem at hand, instantaneously with your populations. Otherwise, you're literally going to be have 5 minutes per population or more. And you need to go through millions of evolutionary steps before you get to something meaningful. Yeah. So, not a good idea, but it was an exciting idea for 5 minutes before. I talked about it with somebody else. I want to try this game because you've told me I like it for a start, and it looks interesting. The MMO. The other thing is when you sign up, you get to choose what they look like. So
that's okay, cool. The MMO elements seem bonkers.
And you only get access to that stuff if you're if you pay the subscription. But actually, far, I've just been in the simulation room, which is what you get as a free user. Yeah, and it's persistent. You can I could do some of it at home and then pick it up at work, and it remembers all of my code and stuff. And so the simulation room just has basically a countdown timer, like horde mode. So it starts off with 1 baddie and then 2 baddies and then 3 and so on. And then there's a little boss in the corner that you can choose to engage with if you want. But I was thinking like I could use like an ant model of like energy mechanic collecting. So like when they move around, they leave pheromones, and then the ones who get to the material and get back the quickest will leave like the strongest trail, and then some emergent behavior will occur where they'll follow the trail because it's the strongest, and also then it becomes the shortest route to any energy.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So that would be quite cool, I thought. So yeah, there's lots of possibilities, and it's so open. Like it's just like, well, what do you want them to do, and how do you want them to do it, and it's all up to you. And
I'm thinking about things like to find energy, doing like a spiral path outwards until you find it, and then you could use what you were saying with an ant pheromone type thing to basically, if you find energy, immediately return to base in a straight line, and then that kind of creates the trail. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about this, and I started to implement it. And actually, looking at the API, there is some method calls which are just like find energy, and you can just go to the energy. So it's weird. They actually don't need to seek it. You can know instantly where the energy is.
That's sort of disappointing.
Yeah, it is a little bit disappointing. It changes what the game is asking you to do a little bit. At the moment, I am trying to be more smart about like which energy sources my little creeps are going to. So I've made a surveyor class who knows about all of the energy and how far away they are, and how many workers would be a suitable number to go and fetch energy for it. And then I've got like a foreman class which is actually responsible for like sending out or assigning the groups and saying, you go over there, do this work, and you come back, and all that stuff. And then I'm going to have like a general, as in like army general class, sorting out the guards and like dictating who should work, who should attack what bit and where, and who should be guarding and all that sort of thing. I think that's what my current plan is. It might turn out to be rubbish and not work at all. At the moment, my guards aren't very clever. Once they get in a fight, I've got some bug in my code somewhere that once they've finished a fight, they just stop and don't ever do anything ever again. And so like some more baddies come and they're just like, yeah, whatever, I've had my fight, which doesn't seem like an ideal strategy for a guard. But yeah, it's really cool, and it's got a tutorial. It actually says you don't need to know JavaScript to play it, which probably isn't true. Like I think you need to. It gives you everything you need to get started because it's got its tutorial and you can copy and paste code. But in terms of,
I would say if you really want to flesh it out,
you like knowing some of the concepts that are in use. Or having a programming language behind you is going to help a lot. I think it's very hard to come with it not knowing any programming at all. Not knowing JavaScript maybe is okay if you know other things, but like not knowing programming, I think would be very difficult.
I kind of like the idea of people finding this and becoming exposed to programming this way. Would be nice.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to learn JavaScript. It's like, okay, well, I need it to do this thing. Now, this is what I want to do. Like they keep coming, the enemies keep coming off and attacking me in this way. I need to figure out a way to not let that happen. And I don't know, I say it's a great way to learn JavaScript. It's probably a great way to learn terrible coding practices because you don't have any instructor to
yeah, but the main thing is teaching you logic, you know?
Yeah, that side of things I think is really good for. Like in terms of code architecture and structure and stuff, it's probably going to be horrible. But if anyone is a JavaScript developer, it's very it uses like require.js a lot. So this is quite techie, low level, but like you can specify your own modules and then just require them in other areas.
Nice. Neat.
So you can kind of expose public and private methods, which isn't a built-in thing to JavaScript. And I'm going to stop talking tech now. But it's really interesting, like fascinating, and you can look at anybody's map segment.
Oh, okay.
And see what they've got going on, like their crazy automated fortresses. Because you can build roads. You can have like construction sites that you can get creeps to build roads on using energy. Like energy is the core currency that everything costs is energy. And so you have to have some from either from harvesting it or from getting it from the base. But you can build roads, which means that your creeps move faster on a road than they do off road. And so, using that pheromones thing from earlier, like you could actually build roads on the shortest paths once you know which the shortest path is, and actually make it a much more efficient. So it's just kind of about planning and working out how to be as efficient with your energy gathering, and more importantly, as I've discovered, learning how to defend your base when the baddies come, because that's where I can only get to about Horde 3 on the survival mode before I'm overwhelmed because my guards are rubbish and stop fighting. And my harvesters can't gather energy in quick enough to spawn more guards. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting concept. I've not really heard of anything trying to do that sort of thing before.
See, my main issue with it is you pitched this to me after I have spent 2 days building statistical analysis models in Python, and then
quite different.
All of today writing a menu system that's making my head hurt because it's got animations in it. And I'm like, maybe not right now.
Yeah,
maybe
if your day job is working in JavaScript, then you might.
It's not even JavaScript. I don't even work in JavaScript. I'm just like, I don't want to code. Please don't make me code at the minute. I might try after the Easter break when I'm a little bit less stressed. Might be a good time. But yeah, it is a really interesting idea. I definitely want to explore it and just give it a go and see what it's like. And the concepts of emergent behavior that you can create in this really intrigue me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's a lot
setting down a set of rules and actually seeing what they come up with is kind of interesting.
Because like some games give you some scope for this, but this is going to give you so much scope for this that it's going to be really, really interesting. And just the potential for like positive feedback loops and stuff is great.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. It doesn't look like much, to be honest, but it doesn't really need to.
No, it looks super basic, but that's what it's fine.
There are areas that have like swamp. I don't know what they do. I've never directed one of my creeps so far. I've only actually played it for a couple of hours so far. So, obviously it's kind of slower progress than a regular game might be in terms of like your initial experience with it, because you have to make what they're doing yourself. And so the first part of it is actually getting to know the API and like what kinds of things are possible, and then start kind of testing the ground for, okay, so if I do this, can this happen? And that sort of thing. So yeah, it's an interesting beginning experience.
Yeah.
And potentially quite daunting, again, like I say, depending on how much programming experience you've got. And you can get the game by going to Screeps.com, and it's free to, like I say, to do this survival mode where you run hordes.
Yeah.
But has a subscription which you should pay because they're indie devs and they're nice.
And then you get like the full MMO, huge persistent world.
Yeah,
thing.
Then you get to take your stuff that you've honed in the survival. You can actually go and try and take out other people's maps and that sort of thing. But you may not have that skill honed actually thinking about it, because you don't have to. You're never on the offense in the survival mode. You're only ever defensive. So you'd have to actually like program up an army of attackers.
Oh,
which might be kind of interesting in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screeps.com.
Screeps.com. Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
You've been playing a game called Handbrake Valet on iOS.
Lies.
Oh. You're not.
Sorry, what were you saying?
You've been playing Handbrake Valet on iOS.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Why did you just shout lies at me then?
That's my default response.
Sorry, what is it called?
Handbrake Valet.
That doesn't sound like porn at all.
It's not porn. You can't play porn on the iOS.
Handbrake Valet.
Yeah. Oh, I get. You think it does sound like porn?
Yes. It sounds like, polish up my stick.
No. It's just a very simple, charming little app where you have to park your car whilst speeding down a road, and you have to handbrake turn into a tight spot.
Nice.
That's basically it. It's one of those games. It's just like one tap to park, and then if you don't fit, you have to start again. So it's very simple, but it's really enjoyable. And it's not like a game that you'll sit there and get deep into. It's one of those games that you just play when you're waiting for the kettle to boil or sitting on the loo. And yeah, I just really like it. So you just basically, your car will change from go to go. It could be a taxi or an ice cream truck or a police van and stuff like that. And then it will randomly select a speed as well. So every go is different. And you can either be tearing down the road, which is really difficult, or it will go quite slowly, which is a bit easier. It's just really simple. You just tap the screen to park, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you smash into all the other parked cars.
Yeah,
that's it. But yeah,
nice.
That's probably the extent of my gaming experience this week, apart from playing a bit more Fallout 4. And enjoying some of their updates. Not the DLC, but the updates to just make things a bit easier.
All right. Well, in that case, we shall move on. Lewis, I was going to write a quiz in honor of your last episode, but then I didn't.
But then I couldn't be asked. That's fine.
Hey, speaking of things we were going to do for the podcast, but then couldn't be asked to do, I was going to try and get some clips from.
Yeah, I was
from
going to
the
do that
first
too,
one.
but also I couldn't be asked.
Just a bit of effort. Isn't it?
Wow, thanks. I'm feeling the laugh.
The thing I actually wanted to do was get the clip of, even before I knew Tuffcub was going to be on the podcast this week, I wanted to get the clip of Tuffcub saying that PSVR would come out in June. I was going to get a clip of that and play it back and be like, you were wrong.
That's just mean.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very much.
How unkind.
Question time.
So in a mixture of Twitter hellos and Twitter goodbyes this week, people have been saying
that's sad, isn't it?
people have been saying goodbye to you on the Twitters, Lewis, and been saying how they miss you. Rolling over, looking at this, starting because you announced this 3 days ago, I believe, saying this Thursday TSA podcast will be my last. It's been a fun 5 years.
Otherwise I'd have to go back on it. And
yeah. So Indy Marathon was sad to hear you're leaving. Benjamin Reed, our good friend Peter Willington, he was very upset. Mike Bartlett, otherwise known as Therapist Gamer, which genuinely change it every.
Always think sound like the rapist gamer.
Every single time. Every time I see that, I'm like, nope, no, it's not Brain. Deal with it. Tuffcub, even you said boo. You came out, you were saddened.
Kevin came out with a no.
Yeah. Willington was
Colin Barr retweeted. Not that I paid attention to this.
Willington was also annoyed that
you narcissist.
Willington, in an unrelated note, Pete Willington was quite annoyed that Vaughan, who was on last week, is verified on the Twitters.
Why is he verified? It's rather strange.
Is he famous?
He works for Alpha, which is like a website.
Is that famous?
Oh right, okay.
He works for. Well, it's because I think it means he counts as like a proper journalist, man.
Right.
And also probably just knows someone.
Yeah.
Like Twitter verification just seems to be luck, like at least 75% of the time.
I'm not verified by Twitter, but then I'm not sure I'm verified by myself. So
are you, Kev? Are you?
That's a very existential question, Chris. I'm not sure I'm prepared to answer it right now.
Surely Twitter is just being verified by everyone else around you.
Yeah.
How deep is that?
Also, although she mentioned it before, Indy Marathon, which is Lucy, said hi all and bye to Lewis.
Bye.
Benjamin Reed again says a bit late, but bye Lewis. I especially miss your passionate hate for Shadow of Mordor. And also he said hello to all the non-deserters too. Which I like that he was nice about you and then branded you a deserter in the next tweet. Jasnam said goodbye to... Confusingly went goodbye Mr. TSA Podcast, Mr. Lewis, as if the TSA Podcast was personified.
Possessive.
I think, well, some would argue, I think.
I'm scared. And of course, importantly, Tuffcub is wearing his special outfit for our recording tonight. Would you like to describe your outfit, Tuffcub?
It is a gay unicorn kitty.
Yeah, rainbow kitty.
Gay unicorn rainbow kitty, yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. Do we know it's gay? It might just like rainbows.
No, it's definitely gay.
Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to check.
I was going to say something then, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there, Kev asked people for some of their memories from 5 years.
I don't bother with this because we didn't get any of them. So.
We got one. We got from Blair.
Oh, who cares?
Blair says he enjoyed the bit where I said the 3D was nice.
I asked for a shout out on Twitter for hey guys, you know what? A little bit of fun here. What we'll do is we will do a hashtag TSA memories, TSA cast memories. Didn't get any.
Is it trending?
It's trending in my mind.
It's good enough for me, Kev.
If by that you mean, have you thought about it since you did it? And actually it's not, because I haven't. So, till now. Anyway, Blair did respond.
He said he liked the bit where I said the 3D was nice, and it was single-handedly the funniest moment in auditory history.
To be honest, I think that was a little bit overinflated at the time.
Yeah.
I think it worked as well in retrospect, maybe. It was a great anticlimax at the time, of course. Podcast episode 46 or so, I would say.
No, you could say anything, Kev. No one will check.
Podcast episode 40. They'll definitely check. You know what our listeners are like. hecklers for details. That's not even a phrase. Hecklers. Sticklers for details.
Just sit there in the background going, details!
Give me some details, mate!
Yep.
Yeah, so, anyway, it's good. It's good, yeah. Funny stuff.
But
possibly not as funny as Blair claimed it to be just now.
No. Do we have anything we want to say to Lewis on his departure, Kev?
Aye.
Yeah.
I hope you like Vietnamese soup because you can fuck off.
Solid.
At least you pronounced it properly.
That's
Solid.
the best I got at short notice. I mean, it's not that short notice. I've had like 3 days, but
yeah. We've had more. We've had like a week and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
Lewis, I hate you.
Do you have anything? Oh, I thought he was saying like Lewis. Do you have anything you want to say to Lewis?
Yeah, Lewis. Do you have anything you want to say on your departure apart from your obvious hatred for me?
No, that's it. Done.
That's it. Just
the hatred thing.
Just the hatred.
I don't linger on relationships. Once they're done, they're done. So I'll see you around.
Just burn this. Make sure this bridge is burnt fully.
Yeah.
I feel you should replace the end theme music with some sort of sad...
Like the lonely man from Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, just... Well, I put around the thing, and you got very shirty, Lewis, that I said that this was an in memoriam episode.
God rest your soul, Lewis.
Yeah.
Well,
he's not gonna rest my soul.
I mean, you argued that you weren't dead, but I would respond with "You're dead to me now."
Okay, fair enough. No, I totally get that.
You've earned it. No, like, is there anything you want to say on your departure, Lewis? Anything else?
I wish you all the best in your next podcast, mate.
You what, sorry?
I wish you all the best in your next podcast.
Yeah, the better
Thanks.
one than this.
You can listen to that on Thursday nights.
Yeah, Lewis. Lewis
we
is
publish
basically
it Monday evenings.
He's leaving to annoy someone else. He's had enough of annoying me at this point.
It's just myself. I'll just be doing a one-man podcast show about the trials and tribulations of making it on Broadway.
Okay, clearly.
Making it with a one-line show on Broadway.
Weirdly,
Yeah. It's called All That Jazz.
The weird thing is,
would be.
I would genuinely listen to that.
Wouldn't go to the show.
You weirdo.
No, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I got a lot going on. It's all podcast based. And like
No, it's
bad
been fun,
pop songs.
isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
If you had to summarise your time in the last 5 years on a podcast in just one word, need I go on?
Well, I was expecting you to finish the sentence, but
It's all right.
Yeah.
Just say purple.
Meh. No,
Meh.
that's why I like it.
Meh. Yeah.
No, it's been good. I've enjoyed myself, but it's been
Time
fun.
to move on. It's been 8 long years now, isn't it? So,
8.
well, feels like it.
Well, Kev, it feels a lot longer than 8.
Well, you know, I wouldn't never have met you, Lewis, if it wasn't for this podcast.
No,
so,
that's true.
That's what I'm grateful for.
That's true. That is true.
And
like I said, I'll hopefully be back for when I'm on holidays and stuff. The only reason I'm going is just because I'm in bed by like 9 most nights now.
Hey, you don't need to make your excuses. It's fine.
I'm just saying.
We'll do the interview off air.
We want your compelling reasons for leaving.
I just don't want to speak to you fucking idiots anymore.
That was
done with it.
That was the answer.
You're eating into my Thursday nights.
Yeah,
I've done for some time.
Yeah, it's been 5 years. Let me have my week back.
It's just, you say that as if we have tried to never get this podcast moved. People do not know.
What do you mean? It used to be on a different day.
Yeah, and then we moved it to Thursdays, and then I've occasionally be like, "Oh, what if we did? Maybe another night would be different." You're like, "Nah, there are no other nights. Thursday is the night." You go to your brother.
You're not the only one.
You see your family.
Fucking holes up this bloody thing.
Yeah, pretty much. This has become bitter recriminations now.
I'm burning my bridge, like I said.
It's fine.
No, it's been good.
It's been enjoyable.
Chatting to you.
You will be back. You will be back. You're going to become a like semi-host kind of thing.
Yeah, just like Peter Chapman.
I'm always a semi-host.
Remember him?
Peter Chapman. He was going to come.
I honestly don't remember him. Who is that?
Kev did want him on, but basically he hates you, Lewis. So
that's fine.
No, he's in America. And
he said, "I'll not be caught dead on a podcast with that guy."
yeah.
Why do you think I left
and he just
in the
ended
first
it there.
place?
Didn't even.
Yeah. Just that was all it said. It was weird. I didn't even ask him. He sent me that out of the blue. I was like, oh, fine. I see.
It's all in joke, but there's a part of me that just thinks, are you telling the truth?
Yeah, I know, because it's
Your
Peter.
deepest insecurities.
It's like when Willington went, you're my favourite or something, don't tell the others. I thought, you're just riding on the coattails of the others. And I thought, I know he's joking, but does he think that that's what I'm doing? I'm just, it's like you start to doubt yourself.
Hey, come on.
This
podcast would be much
easier
without you.
Easier to edit. It'd be much simpler to edit. It would take me less time.
Sorry, it's really hard. It's really hard to be nice, isn't it, without sounding sarcastic? Yeah. So it's better to just go with something mean.
Yeah, it's
because
so
then,
much easier.
Like, sarcasm works in your favour.
So this has been episode 214, the in memoriam episode for Lewis Gaston. May he rest in peace.
It's pretty dark.
Oh, that's
Lewis singing his own death march.
That's all right. I've recorded my own funeral songs.
Have you?
Yeah,
you got that. You got that album you released.
Lewis.
That's all the EP is. It's just songs we played at Lewis's death.
You joke about that when like I played my mates the music of that. We ended up having a massive like piss about because they were all going, "This sounds really dark. Like, is this the bit in the film where some woman gets chased through a forest and then beaten and raped before being murdered?" And it's like every song that they were like, "Oh, listen to this one. It's really, who's getting killed in this one?" Okay, I'll not do anything in future.
It's pretty dark. You're right. Your friends are unkind. It was
a jovial moment.
Oh, great. In that case, fine.
Fine then.
I'm glad you had a nice time.
Also, I would like it though if my funeral march is just my voice sampled and shifted correctly. You know, if I give you a do, you can just sort that out, right?
So it's just you going doop 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 doop.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just me saying my own name. Just me saying.
Probably not going to do that.
Me just saying Kris. It's just Kris. Be great.
Do people even play the funeral march these days?
No.
Not really a done thing now, is it?
I've just recorded a CD of me going, "Hello, I'm not dead in here."
Except you're like,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it's getting really hot in here.
Can we just have the baby just for one last time?
You may.
That is horrible. It always has been. Great skill.
Thanks.
Anything else that Lewis does that's
Inspector
funny
Gadget.
or like charming, nice?
No.
No, he doesn't really do.
No.
That sort of thing.
All right, so that's going to do it for episode 214, the in memoriam of Lewis podcast. As always, you can tweet us on Twitter. You can
tweet us on Twitter.
You can get us on Twitter at TSA Podcast. You can get me on Twitter as Halpretz, HALB. Praying Kevin 400. You can get Tuffcub as TUFF Cub. You can get Lewis as Lewis Gaston. I thought I'd save him for last. And if you want to get old episodes of the podcast, you can go to YouTube. You can go to TheSixthAxis.com where you can get like...
Yeah, although actually going to TheSixthAxis.com and going to the podcast's link to get to the old ones doesn't actually work, I discovered today. So
it gives you like the last 25.
You have to click on the tag.
You do have to click on the tag. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then you can
I did it when we did the 200th episode. I did the quiz about the previous. See, I made the effort.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Also,
I thought
like
about making loads of effort.
Other places on the internet, I don't know. Just like put it into Google.
Sorry, I derailed that bit then, Chris.
Yeah. So I kind of gave up anyway. Lewis, as it is your final episode.
Oh, we've said bye, for fuck's sake.
You may have the last word.
It's time for Jerry's final thought.
I've swept my arm out. I can't hold it swept out forever.
No one can tell if you're telling the truth, Chris. It's not how these things work.
The thing is, I have, and I'm just holding it there, waiting for Lewis to have the final word.
Well, I've stopped recording, so...
I mean, in classic Lewis style, he's just gone for nothing.
Remember when Lewis used to not say things for extended periods of time?
Oh, so I just opened Skype and I was really expecting him to just have left the call, and that was how he's going to finish his tenure.
Well, you know he is going to now that you've done that.
Yeah, let's see.
Interesting. Playing the long game, are we, Gaston? Okay. Hey, there he goes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Bye.
The Sixth Axis podcast.
So, yeah, marks the end of an era, but screw that guy.